So I'm a big fan of LS. Now, if you don't know who LS is, he is a coach for TI, the league team. I'm pretty sure T1, I mean, not TI. Thinking Dota 2. But something that's always intrigued me is people that can be at the pro level in one game and then be pro at another game. Like, you have to be so good at games. It's just really interesting. And honestly, LS is super hardcore. Like, I occasionally watch some of his like coaching stuff or like tips he has. Honestly, he is very impressive. He is very fast actions per minute, and that's because he's a StarCraft player. And it's also interesting, you know, when someone is so good at another game and they start dedicating themselves to another, like a different game, you can see like all these different like flavors from that one game kind of like get into this other game. So when LS plays, like, he is moving very fast in League of Legends, like faster than, you know, anyone else is playing the game. It's very insane, but I really wanted to watch this video and I have never seen it. This is like during his StarCraft days, before he was a League of Legends pro. And if you don't know Ellis's story, I'll just kind of like sum it up. Basically, he was going to be homeless, and to not be homeless, he decided that he was going to go to Korea to play StarCraft for a living and make like absolutely nothing. And he kind of went through some tough times in Korea, and eventually he kind of like got his break when he became a League of Legends pro. But yeah, basically up until then he had like kind of like a rough childhood. There's like there's a bunch of interviews and stuff with him. So if you're interested in all that, go check him out. But anyways, I'm just really excited to see like what this is all about. So let's give it a watch.
We are literally at a position where collectively, working in harmony, we can do most of the things that and take the responsibilities which in the past have been attributed to the great deities of the past.
If there was no way for players to basically stand out on a pedestal, I kind of...
Oh my god. Okay, so one thing I know about LS is apparently he has had plastic surgery. So this is what he looked like before. He honestly doesn't look like bad, and honestly, if you do plastic surgery or anything like that, it's obviously your choice, but now you get to see what he looks like before all the plastic surgery. Also, he had black hair. I'm guessing he was dyeing his hair and stuff. He doesn't really look that much different, but you can like see in his face like some of the changes.
To it. Like, I'm ultra competitive. I can't play a game and just have fun. Like, you know, even if it's 7 people and it's all grannies at, you know, bingo night at like your nursing home or whatever, I'm still going for the win. Like, like, I don't care that you're 70 years old and this is fun, you know, like, I need to win. And so I'm that competitive that RTS games kind of offer that skill ceiling.
Alright.
My uncle was like, he traveled around the US for Mortal Kombat.
Okay, before I keep going into the video, just so you know, if you do want to check out the video yourself, go ahead and it's in the description.
That's for Mortal Kombat and all this other sort of stuff. So he kind of got me into games. But the atmosphere, the personalities inside of it, the people are different. Gamers are just different, and I like them more than, say, the average, you know, high schooler or college student or something. They're really bland to me, whereas gamers seem to have something else to like offer inside of their personalities.
Intellectual advance, or now we know it.
Basically, with StarCraft 1 or something, I remember, you know, arguing till I was like blue in the face about how these pro gamers can make money, and of course, you know, because it's completely locked inside of Korea, no one really believes it, and you try to like show them all these facts and sheets and, you know, stuff about their sponsors and stuff, and they don't want to hear it because they're like, no, you can't play a video game for a living.
Okay, so this is kind of... So this is 2012, this interview, and I would say like maybe 2005 and later on, that's when games like kind of started getting a bit more attention in tournaments, I want to say. Honestly, like when League of Legends came out, if you look at like the old footage, like the tournament and all that was kind of like small scale. But like Counter-Strike 1.6 and all that, like StarCraft 1 I think was 1998. I might be completely wrong. But like all those games, like people weren't making that much money. Like you know, like a big tournament, the top team of 5 people for Counter-Strike, maybe they'll get like $5,000 or something, $10,000. And I mean, that is good money, but like to dedicate your life to it, it's like, you know, not that great. But yeah. Also, if you're curious, my StarCraft history, I've probably played StarCraft 1, The Brood War, for about 10 hours total. So yeah, I'm a pro.
StarCraft 2 is basically one of the first games, you know, now along with like League of Legends and stuff, that is driving, you know, the Force into the world. So now I think kids coming into it, 11, 12, 13, they have a super advantage from anyone that was, you know, 10 years ago did not have. Because now you have all these events, all this money that now parents and organizations and schools, etc., cannot deny that there's this, you know, there's an elephant in the room that's starting to come up.
That traffic is crazy. That traffic is nasty.
Replicated what Flash did in StarCraft 1. That's just a God-given fact. Talent exists, whether people want to accept it or not. If it didn't exist, there is like 10 million kids right now in the United States that are, you know, football players that they want to be the next Tom Brady, the next quarterback. But you know what? They won't. They never will be. Whether it's because they don't get the chance to, or they just never would. If it was so easy that if you just work hard and, you know, you believe that you can do it, then you can, then you would have a million Derek Jeters, a million Alex Rodriguez's, a million Mickey Mantles, you know, you'd have the next Michael Jackson every single day. You'd have the next Justin Bieber whenever he wanted it. That's not how it works. There is something that separates these players from the other players. And of course there's a line drawn where, yes, everyone can be a pro gamer. But can you be a Flash? Can you be a Jadon? Can you be an MVP? Can you be an ST? Not everyone can do that, the same way that not every kid is born able to be a neurosurgeon. I'm sorry, the brain's just different. You know, and I'm not saying that someone's stupid, but pro gaming, the RTS, the skills needed to be a good RTS gamer, it's just not for you. I don't know if I'll ever be able to be a Flash or something, but I'm not going to know till I try, but at least I'm at a crossroad where I can try.
Okay, so what he just said, basically, I kind of want to, like, say in a way that the talent he's talking about in games, games, it's weird because, yes, you can practice all you want. Like, if you have 10,000 hours in a game, I mean, like, I expect you to be near the pro level. If you have 10,000 hours in any game and you've actually been trying to get better, and you do take it seriously at least a little bit, like, you could probably play Counter-Strike for 10,000 hours casually and be incredible, but if you're not playing ESEA for, like, 5,000 of those hours, like, you know, how good are you going to be? Probably not that great. But when he's talking about, you know, how, like, the brain works I'm bleeding all over my arm. How the brain works, like, differently and all that stuff. I want to say, like, a aspect of it is creativity. So, like, how creative are you at figuring out how to get better? How creative are you at figuring out, like, how to deal with this situation that other people aren't dealing with? I feel like the top talent people in, you know, whatever game, they're not playing like tasks. They're not playing like tool assisted. They're not playing perfect like that. It's just like their game sense and what they think is right, and, like, you know, their creative strategies. Now, obviously, there's like meta and stuff, and like the right decisions to make and all that. But I do think creativity is a big part of it.
My income now comes from streaming, which, you know, basically I can earn ad revenue through Twitch TV, who's like a great broadcasting company. So it's completely dependent on where the scene stands, how I'm able to either market myself, or if I'm playing well, performing well, or if I'm dishing out, enough good quality stuff. So it's really, really hard sometimes, and I get afraid, money-wise. And then, sometimes I also panic just because of my age. This is still kind of new to me, even though I've been out here almost 9 months. I'm still only 19. So this is like, all the other foreigners that are out here, they're like 23 and up. So they're like, kind of adults that some of them might have gone to college and already been through this lifestyle. But to me, it's like an equivalency of a first-year college student. And I'm doing it in a foreign country with no one, guiding me. I guess the pressures of being a competitive StarCraft 2 player, it differentiates if you're a competitive foreigner or if you're a competitive Korean. And I guess in my regard, other foreigners out here in Korea, we're competitive Koreans.
Okay, real quick. If you're wondering, okay, so in America, you pretty much will just always go to college after high school. I mean, there are some people who will go to trade school, or they go to the military and then go to school later. But I would say the vast majority of American kids will go to college right after high school. Because, I mean, that is pretty much what we're told. And it's not a bad idea to do that, right? If you know what you want to do in college, you can go to college, get it done. And a lot of people who don't really know, they'll still go to community college, right? Community college usually costs a lot less than normal college, and then usually you just transfer over eventually if you go that way. But I want to say for LS, I'm pretty sure, I don't remember his whole interview with Dr. K, but I'm pretty sure at 18, he was just kicked out of his house or whatever. I remember he had a really bad relationship with his biological mom and all that. Because he was homeless at one point, and then he went to Korea. So 9 months out in Korea. So this is right after he basically had to decide, I don't have anywhere to go, so I'm going to go to Korea to play StarCraft for a living, right?
In the sense that if we suck or we do bad, no one knows anything about us. But if you're a competitive foreigner, you go to these MLGs, you do well in an MLG, suddenly everyone thinks the world of you because you made it to the championship round or you made it to the round of 9 MLG. When push come to shove, there is 200 completely unknown Koreans on the Korean ladder that would completely laugh at top foreigners. So it's people have no idea how competitive and how stressful it is, because if we lose 5 games in a row, our mentality can completely break. Shatter. Some people might think it's only 5 games, but at our level, a 60% win rate is considered godly. For people to think about that, you're almost flipping a coin, and for 60% to be considered godly, that's just how stiff it is. It's a nightmare, really, if you're here in Korea. If you're a foreigner, it's Care Bear Land. But, I mean, that's just how it is. I mean, I don't know. I could completely fail. I could be at my skill cap. But I'm going to keep pushing forward because I've still been having huge epiphanies and growth over the last few months.
If I can ask one more hard question, and then we'll go on to the more philosophical.
Yeah.
Why did you feel like you needed to cheat? Was it the pressure? Was it competitive?
Wait, what?
The reason that I felt like I needed to cheat is actually a long story, some of which I don't want to go into. The other half was I felt really isolated in my real life for a plethora of reasons. And basically I wanted new friends, I wanted to be recognized, I wanted to, be oh, hey, people know my name on this gaming forum. And StarCraft was kind of my escape in my life at that time. So I just wanted to be known. So I didn't think I was hurting anyone. I wanted to, beat these players to kind of befriend them, if that makes sense, and then play normal against them and actually become better like them, and then play them naturally and never hurt anyone. That's why I never used the maps in ladders or leagues or tournaments or anything. I just wanted to, be accepted by these players that I looked up to. The pressure to cheat always came when I felt like I wasn't good enough for someone or something or, whatever else. So that's when I would kind of cave in, is like when my emotions would get the most of me, or like my hormones or whatever. I don't know. But yeah, pretty much that. Basically when I was an idiot. This is kind of hard. If I could thank someone that has helped me get to this point in life, I guess it's not a person, but it's Team Liquid and how they treated me. Because they made me feel so shunned and neglected that the drive and energy that they kind of gave me to overcome that and just keep pushing forward and kind of saying, you know, that's not going to stop me, helped me not just in StarCraft, but other things, because my like arrogance or my pride was able to be built off that, but then also molded in different areas to help me just become a better person. You know, had Team Liquid not had just done the stuff that they did, had they just kind of let me back into the community with like a slap on the wrist sort of thing, I don't know if I would have, you know, gone back to cheating when I was 15, 16, maybe even 17, you know, randomly or occasionally. But overall, they helped me a lot. My hopes are that for these last 5 years that I endured all this flame, all this bullshit, all this, you know, smack talk, every door, not just even shut in my face, but like slammed, all the ridicule and everything. I hope that I didn't just push through all of that for nothing. And like you know, I don't know any other foreigner that would have kept going after the amount of shit that I had to put up with. And yet I'm here today. So I hope it's not all in vain. And I hope that I can control myself mentally to keep improving the way that I am, and that I can actually be a foreigner that remains in Korea and isn't just, you know, swept under the rug like everyone else that has come out here and, you know, faced the Korean challenge.
Alright, so honestly, this was kind of not what I was expecting. I was hoping to see some gameplay. Now, I don't really know much about StarCraft, but I actually went back and, like, I watched a match where Ellis was actually playing, and then I saw, like, a video where someone is, like, behind him with a camera and they're, like, talking while he's playing. Yeah, I don't really know much about StarCraft 2. It was kind of interesting to hear, like, what he has to say about competition and, you know, skill and whatnot, but I didn't know he was, like, a cheater to try and, like, so he could try to impress people. I'm guessing there wasn't really, like, ranked on, like, ladders and stuff. I don't really know the StarCraft community, how all that went. That's kind of weird. I would think he's, like, the last person to cheat, but you could see, like, 2012, like, this was when he was, like, starting to become a League of Legends pro. And then 2013, I'm pretty sure he actually started competing as League of Legends pro. Maybe, maybe not. I can't remember, but honestly, I kind of enjoyed this little interview. Not like everything I was expecting. I didn't know what I was expecting. I was hoping to see some gameplay, some explanation behind it, blah, blah, blah. It wasn't really like that. But anyways, guys, hopefully you enjoyed this little reaction. I just wanted to watch this with you guys. I figured, you know, I wanted to watch this, and if it's good, it's good. And it was decent. So if you guys enjoyed this, make sure to subscribe. Comment down below, you know, did you ever play StarCraft? What do you think about RTS? I've never been really an RTS guy. But anyways, guys, I'll see you next one. Have a good one. Peace.